Started wearing this arm sleeve recently after I had my shoulder injury. My shoulder injury was nerve-based, which is interesting. There's been there's been a few of us who've had some nerve injuries, and currently working with my nutritionalist because I've been deficient in some nutrients that should help me be a professional athlete that I'm super deficient in, so working on getting some of that back. But arm sleeve just gives me that extra support. Usually I tape myself as well. Colton tapes me. It's really hard to tape myself, but doing that, taping, arm sleeve, tying my shoe pad. But yeah, just trying to get the body right. So far it's been feeling good. Threw a lot of forehands at DDO, so definitely feeling sore in my pec area. So trying to keep those to a minimum unless I absolutely have to use them, which sometimes the course just calls for it. And especially at DDO, I threw some really sick forehands that, I don't think I would have scored those first 2 rounds the way I did without them. So yeah, we're getting back into it, strengthening it. Let's throw some warm-ups. I like to just, before my practice round, throw a few, get the arm moving. Okay. Totally forgot to do my leg swings. Off this first tee, they have the OB coming a lot closer this year on the left side, so I'm doing the hyzer. There's a pole in the middle of the field over there, throwing at that, trying to end by that small tree. Parked the small tree. So yeah, I forgot to mention we're in Des Moines, Iowa for the Des Moines Challenge, and I actually really love Pickard Park, but I also wanted to not only show you guys what I'm throwing on the course, talk to you guys about mindset, but I wanted to kind of go over how DDO went as I search for my warm-up shank. But DDO, the first 2 rounds, were definitely shaky, I'd say, just because I hadn't been sleeping all that great. Oh, I found somebody else's disc. No clue. I was super shaky because I wasn't sleeping good, and usually when I don't get great sleep, I feel super anxious. And I hadn't felt anxious in a while. And then I was also on feature chase, so that was kind of stressful, but also like good for me because I haven't been playing all that great. I've been working through injury, working through some mental stuff, and I'm glad Dynamic gave me the opportunity to go out on that feature card and play my best. So yeah, I have to give a huge shout out to Emanuele, because he's not on my team, he's on Innova. But he helped caddy for me, and he did a great job, to be honest, because he competes as well, so he's not just your random person coming from the woodwork and trying to tell me what to throw. He helped me walk through some shots, which was really cool to see from a young junior. There was one hole I think it was hole 2, second round. I was in this position and I was gonna throw his backhand turnover, and he's like, I think you can get your forehand there. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, you know what, the wind is calling for it, so I will. Ended up pin high, so shout out to Emanuele. He helped talk me out of some bad decisions. Usually I'd throw a Royal Grace on this shot, but I'm gonna go with my Sheriff. I'm gonna get a little bit more of that left skip, and it's a little bit faster. Yesterday I was ending kind of by those trees, and from that first tree, it's 350 feet from the pin. So if I can get up on that hill a little more, it'll open up the shot. Didn't quite get on that hill, but I'm at that tree that I just talked about. I have to give a huge shout out, obviously, to Dynamic Discs, because whenever I go to that event, it almost always feels like a major because all the effort that they put in. Something I do miss though is the AM side of things being there, because it's just, there are so many people. When it was Glass Blown Open, it was just full of amateurs, and they'd come up to you and they'd be so excited to see you. And so it does stink a little bit that there aren't those AMs to, like, after they play their round, to like come and watch the pros afterwards. But I will say the spectators showed up. So many people were out there just to watch the Elite Series event. Disc Golf Pro Tour did an amazing job. Shout out to one of my best friends, Christine Jennings. She worked so hard along with her crew to get that course ready, and the hard work doesn't go unnoticed. Sometimes I feel like some people can be ungrateful, but you know, like I just said, we notice it and we appreciate it. Disc Golf Pro Tour. Like I said, I obviously want to be more up on that hill, but as long as I can get the disc flat from right here and not let it go with the slope, it's fine. Like I said, I'm 355 from this tree with definitely 5 to 10 in elevation. So it's probably another 50 feet because it feels so much farther, and 355 doesn't feel that long for us, but definitely put myself higher on the hill, I'll have a better chance. Also, I talked a little bit about how I wasn't sleeping well at DDO. I talked to my nutritionalist who also works with Ricky Wysocki, and he recommended, I'm already taking a supplement that should help a little bit with that. An issue I was having was like racing thoughts, and so it's called Minchex. And so taking that at night as well, but I got some organic tart cherry juice from Brittany Dickerson after our yoga sesh yesterday. I am blown away, impressed, kind of freaked out. I had the best night of sleep in such a long time, and to think that it was the tart cherry juice blew my mind. So if you're having a hard time sleeping and you want something super normal and organic tart cherry juice, but it has to be organic, otherwise pesticides can get into the skin of cherries really easy. Try it out, let me know what you think, because I'm blown away. Take a quick break, gotta dry off these discs, but I always love this cute little bench on hole 3. I think it's adorable. But yeah, DDO is good. A lot to take away. That final round was so depressing because I worked so hard to get down to 6 down. I was so proud of myself for shooting under par, because that's not a very easy course with all of the OB, with how long it was. But I was super proud of myself and how I handled myself. My mental game that last round was probably some of the best it's been in a long time, which is kind of weird to say considering I shot +7. I know, disgusting. It kind of felt like it disappeared within a snap of a finger. And the best way for me to describe it is I'd be on the T-pad and I'm like, all right, you know, say all my affirmations, all the things I've been telling myself through some podcasts I've been listening to, and also using some methods from the books I'm reading. And so like I was so mentally like there, but it just felt like the disc wasn't releasing on, you know, my aiming point. And so that was really frustrating because I was like, man, like my mental game feels so good. Like I finally feel unembarrassed, like I'm just here to play, and then like everything just kept going wrong. So stepping stone, very sad, but you know what, I shot way above my rating the first 2 rounds. I haven't done that in a hot minute, so lots to learn from, and I'm just stoked with how my mental game was. This was fun, definitely wooded. I used to want to throw a forehand, but the way that the slope kind of goes right, and there's also some bushes and stuff over there, it's not worth it to me, so I just put a Tersis in the bag. It's an understable mid-range. See how it goes. Wow, yeah, couldn't ask for a better shot. I don't think I'm gonna throw the Maverick. I just think it's gonna go too long on this hole, and if it hits something, it's kind of gonna bounce everywhere, so I think Tersis is the shot. This is not a very nice putt. Committed. You always love when player A makes the putt. It always feels like, player B, whatever, but when you make player A, you're like, all right, cool, I don't need a mully. Over stable driver, kind of throw it flat. There's a blue flag on the other side of the lake. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go sheriff on a hyzer in case it wants to pop up. Hyzer over the lake. We do have a stiff headwind, so we'll see how she does. Oh, she did pop up. Yeah, but that sheriff still has that nice left fade, so nothing to worry about there. All right, I'm throwing my Fusion Burst Evidence. If you haven't thrown one before, they might start out of the box a little overstable, but once you beat them in, one of the straightest mid-ranges I've ever tried. But that's why I put the Tersis in the bag, was because I wasn't getting the right turn out of it, because this is just like a very straight disc and then maybe a tiny bit of fade. So really reliable in that sense, where the Tersis, I can use it on a hyzer and it'll flip up. So this hole's 275 feet. I have a little bit of a left to right wind, so I'm gonna throw straight at it on a slight hyzer. All right, well, I early released it, but thankfully they put hay bales there this year. Lucky that got through. I thought I was going fishing. So I just started, LOL. I just started drinking liquid IV during my rounds. I found myself really struggling to kind of just keep it going in a way. Like I would get tired a little bit throughout my rounds, and I had snacks, but I talked to like Sayananda and a few others, and obviously my nutritionist, and I was like, I'm struggling. And they're like, well, are you drinking electrolytes? And I'm like, no, like, you know, I'm a water girl. And they're like, you should try some. And I've tried Liquid IV before. My good friend Christine Jennings, like I said, works for Disc Golf Pro Tour. She introduced me to it a long time ago. But I thought it tasted disgusting. And then I tried it again with more water, and it's much better. You just gotta put as much water as you like into it because it's really salty. Hole 6, 575 feet. We get to the end of the fairway and then we go right. I really like this hole because I can chuck one, but you gotta be careful, and especially in the wind, you gotta keep it low so it doesn't, the flight plate doesn't get messed up. OB on the left, lots of trees on the right. I'm going with my Sheriff because I do have a little bit of a headwind, and I'm kind of throwing it on, not a high hyzer, but like a medium high hyzer, because I want to end kind of close to that OB because it opens up a nice forehand. Like I said, I'm only using forehands when I have to and when the course calls for it. Well, I did not expect my Sheriff to fly the way it just did. Super turned over, flipped over really hard. Almost makes me want to leave it because usually I can throw that thing in a big headwind and it doesn't do that. So it might be left behind. It does have a cool Lord eye on it though. Well, the Sheriff is lucky that I'm wearing pants and that as I'm walking out I find it because I need to put a new one in the bag. I actually have a Hannah Wynn Dark Ace one in that I bought off of her, so I might switch that up. All right, guys, thanks for coming along for the first 6 holes of Pickard Park with me. My mic's about to die. I think I got a lot in there. DDO was a great tournament, great stepping stone, and a great confidence builder for my putt. So gonna keep getting those reps in. Gotta give a huge shout out to my sponsors, Dynamic Discs, obviously. Support me through it all. I get calls from my peeps all the time telling me how much they love me, how much they appreciate me. So nothing but love to them. Love my Lore fam. If you need some sweet dyes, make sure to hit them up. They do some amazing work and we love them so much. And last but not least, of course, I got to give a huge shout out to Bushnell Disc. They've done a lot for me, and also it was really cool to see Emanuele use the Edge rangefinder during my round on coverage and everything. Get those distances, get that elevation for me. But thank you all for the amazing support. Let me know if you enjoy more practice rounds like this where I give you my mindset not only on the course, but also just in general.